Hello guys, in this video, me and my team, we are doing an African business and we will share some tips on how to do business in Tanzania. And in this video, we will give you numerous of factor about Tanzania like geographical factor and landscape and political factor and taxation legal system. All that will be in this video. So let's first talk about the geographical landscape of Tanzania. About the geographical landscape, as we all know, Tanzania is in east of Africa, and they have numerous of national park, and we will carry three national park in our slides, which is Serengeti National Park. They are known for their wildlife and the Great Migration. And then we will talk about Mount Kilimanjaro. They are the tallest peak not only in Tanzania but also in Africa. And then talking about Zanzibar, they are famous for the beaches and there are a lot of culture to see. And also they are having a border with the Indian Ocean as well. And then if I talk about the borders, there are a lot of lakes of Tanzania, and they also have eight countries they have border with Tanzania. And that's why it makes them easy to trade with in the African continent. And then Tanzania is divided into 31 regions. Yeah, and those regions are subdivided into districts, into urban areas. Now let's talk about the Tanzanian cultural landscape. There are a lot of culture, as we all know, in Tanzania and all over Africa as well. But in Tanzania, there are over 120 indigenous ethnic groups, and they speak different dialects. They speak more than 100 dialects. I know, a lot of huge number. And then there is three huge ethnic group called as Sukuma, Nyamwezi, Chagga, and Hadza. Swahili is the national language of Tanzania, and this language is spoken by many of the Tanzanians, and this foster their unity and prevent ethnic conflict. There are a lot of ethnic group, I said, and there is no conflict, which is very huge appreciation for Tanzania. They always avoid the conflict between their ethnic groups because no group, they never dominate politically or economically. And the peaceful festivals are often celebrated in Tanzania, like art, music, social interaction, and this showcase the Tanzanian cultural mosaic.
Hello, my name is Abdurrahman Ujaimi, and I will be presenting the political landscape of Tanzania. When it comes to Tanzania, since gaining independence in 1961, Tanzania has been dominated by a party called Chamacha or Chamacha Mapinduzi. They make it as an abbreviation, it is the CCM party. While a multi party system was introduced in 1992, remains the CCM remains the ruling party under President Hassan. I have been actually in the embassy of Tanzania and we tried to meet her. She was in the same building in a room next to us, but we couldn't meet her. We met her, I think one of her representatives that we will put in the paper, that the questions that we asked him and he answered us. So the government of Tanzania has been implementing reforms aimed at reconciliation and inclusivity. This includes this includes lifting bans on opposition rallies and encouraging civil society and media participation to strengthen democracy. What does that mean? It means that the government of Tanzania were trying to allow much more political parties to compete um, in election, to have their own social media platforms, to um, do advertisement for social media for their party campaign. However, these challenges persist. The country faces limitation in its institutional and election laws, and mechanism for resolving presidential election disputes remains unclear. There were some efforts to improve election transparency are going, but still insufficient. So the government of Tanzania have tried their best to look like that they are inclusive and allowing other parties to compete, but still this is ongoing and insufficient.
Tanzania is an incredibly diverse country with over 120 ethnic groups and multiple religions, including Christianity and Islam, like the biggest ones, and also indigenous beliefs. As I already said, Christianity and Islam are the biggest religions here, where Christianity has 63% and Islam 34% of it. It is unique how well groups live together here, and all the national holidays are celebrated together, having mutual respect for every nationality and every religion.
I am going to talk about the economic landscape of Tanzania. Tanzania has a population of 59 million people, which is growing at the rate of 3% per year. The country's gross national income in 2018 was 1020 US dollars per capita, which is 500 US dollars lower than the average of sub-Saharan African region. Tanzania has a labor force of 27 million people, and the unemployment rate was last recorded at 9.7%. Agriculture employees are almost two-thirds of the labor forces, roughly a quarter is in service sector, and only 7% in industry. Tanzania is also in trade. The country's top trade partners are South Africa, India, China, Kenya, and UAE. Tanzania recorded a large trade deficit of 4.7 billion US dollars in 2018. Tanzania is Africa's fourth biggest gold producer and third largest cashew producer as well.
So, as my colleague talked about political landscape and economical landscape, now we'll talk about the taxation and the legal system and constitution of Tanzania. As I said, Tanzania is a big country, and also they are divided into sub-region. But there are top residents income tax rate is 30%, and those who are non-residents of Tanzania, their employment income rate is 15% of tax. Now, if I talk about the region, in the mainland, the tax rate is 18%, and in Zanzibar is 15%. There are tax applied on everything, almost service tax and goods and service tax and import. But there are some sectors they are also taxed when they are in business, like telecom and banking. Exported goods are not being taxed, which is a good news, and there are mandatory VAT registration for business. And if I talk about deferred VAT, imported capital goods ends on 30 June 2026. So after that, maybe for some businesses, it would be good. Now let's talk about the legal constitution system. The legal constitution system is based on the English common law in Tanzania from British colonial influence. The Tanzania is a democratical party. There are a lot of party that a person has to vote for, and then comes the separation of power. Every sector, every politician or every government in power have separated their power. They are not centralized; they are decentralized, guys. And then comes the unitary state developed power for local decision making. They are like region government. They can take their local decision as well without going to the supreme authority. And then Tanzanian constitution also guarantee the fundamentals right, like living, life, fundamental right of life, fundamental right of speech, fundamental right of religion. And they also promote gender equality, minority right, and cultural diversity. And they focus on reducing a socio-economic disparity and also ensuring for trials.
Hello again, and in this part, I will be presenting the business registration process and costs in Tanzania. Personally, I think if you would like to open any business in Africa and specifically in Tanzania, you have to have a certain amount of connections And by connections, I mean local people that can help you, as we understood in the African business topic. These people will help you understand the culture, understand all type of departments that requires you for certain identification, for certain registration fee, for certain amount of taxes that you have to pay. So connections are really important in starting a business in Tanzania. But establishing a business in Tanzania involve several key steps. One of them is obtaining a taxpayer identification number. This is for the locals. And I think for international businesses that would like to start in Tanzania, this registering with the business registration and licensing agency, and it's just requiring the necessary license and operation for operation. I mean, in order to operate there, you need the necessary license. The costs to do this business, to get the ITN, vary depending on the type of business. For example, if you would like to have a name for your business in Tanzania, that costs almost 15,000 Tanzanian shillings, which is in euros is almost 5.5 euros, which is nothing compared to Europe, I guess. But companies with shared capital pays between 95 to 450,000 Tanzanian shillings. But for foreign companies, the registration fee is almost 750 US dollar. In addition, there's an annual operating fees applies along with the tax such as VAT at 18%, and you have a corporate taxes at 30%. Businesses usually must also plan for expenses like office space, staff salaries, marketing, and legal fees, which can range in Tanzania between 5,000 to 1 million Tanzanian shillings. That depends and vary as well on the size of your business, on the type of products that you are selling. These costs depend on the type of business you are starting. Hi again. When it comes to best business locations in Tanzania to start a business, Dar es Salaam, which means actually in Arabic, it means the land of peace. Dar, actually, it means literally the house of peace. Dar al Salam. And they say it Dar es Salaam. In Tanzania, this commercial capital and the largest city in the country. It's a key economic hub with well established parts, making it ideal for businesses involved in trade and logistics. The city also has a growing population, which make it great for business starters, which create a high demand as well for various goods and services. On the other hand, you have other city called Arusha. Arusha is known as a major tourism hub, attracting visitors from all over the world. It is close to famous attractions like Mount Kilimanjaro and Serengeti National Park. This makes it a great location for businesses in the tourism industry, which usually works for European visitors, such as hotels, tour companies, and cultural services. There's other city called Mwanza. Mwanza is an emerging commercial center situated on the shore of Lake Victoria. It offers opportunities in fishing, agriculture, and manufacturing, with increasing economic activity in these sectors. The city's growth makes it a promising place for businesses looking to expand into regional markets. You have other city called Dodoma. Dodoma is Tanzania's political capital and is experiencing rapid development in infrastructure and population growth. As the administrative heart of the country, it presents opportunities in sectors such as construction, real estate, and public services. And since it is the political capital, you have a lot of services that can be provided for political members and politicians.
When it comes to business opportunities, Tanzania is full of business potential. As the backbone of the economy, there is agriculture, with employing up to 65% of the population and producing crops like cashews, coffee, tea, and similar. And there's a huge opportunity in processing these products for export. Another major opportunity is in tourism, with all the attractions like Mount Kilimanjaro, the Serengeti, and Zanzibar. And here, possibly the investments in luxury lodges and ecotourism could bring even more visitors yearly. Another big opportunity for business is mining, since the Tanzania is a key export of gold and tanzanite. Also, the infrastructure products like railways and energy plants are very important business opportunities here.
Hello again. So, when it comes to employment and living in Tanzania, there are a lot of opportunities and benefits in this country. Tanzania offers usually a better standard of living and safety compared to many of its neighboring countries. This is because the country has been already improving for a while and it makes it an attractive place to live and work. The country has strong employment insurance, which improves the quality of life of the workers for the workers and their families, which means someone that works for these sectors has been insured for himself and his family and his kids. That seems a great for a country between all these African countries that they have a bad reputation about family insurance and workers insurance. Additionally, there is a rapid growth in industries like tourism, technology. These sectors needs foreign expertise, creating an exciting opportunities for professionals and investors looking to make an impact in this country, in Tanzania. So these experts, when they move to Tanzania, they will find somehow a good atmosphere, a good insurance, a good way of living. That makes it a great opportunity for employers and workers to start their businesses there and to invest in Tanzania.
Advantages of doing business in Tanzania. It offers a mix of opportunities and challenges for entrepreneurs and investors looking to start and grow business in the country. It enjoys a lot of political stability in comparison to others of its neighbors, which contributes to a favorable business environment. It has a strategic location positioned to support regional and international trade. Um, because of the presence of the ports like Dar es Salaam, it is a growing network of transport infrastructure, and that strengthened its appeal as a trade hub. Tanzania also boasts one of the fastest growing economies in Africa, with an expanding middle class. This growth creates demand for customers, goods, services, and infrastructure development. One of the plus points of Tanzania is it is very rich in natural resources. Now, the challenges of doing business in Tanzania. The biggest cost you will have to pay is the energy cost. Secondly, there are a lot of bureaucratic delays. Setting up a business in Tanzania can involve lengthy administrative processes and complex regulations, which may deter potential investors. Entrepreneurs and small businesses often struggle to access affordable financing due to the underdeveloped financial markets and the stringent lending requirements. Despite improvements, Tanzania still faces challenges in infrastructure, such as unreliable electricity supply, limited access to modern technology, and underdeveloped transport networks in rural areas. While the middle class is growing, there is often a mismatch between the skills available and those required by modern industries. which can lead to additional costs for training and development. A last point, there is still a lot of corruption. It remains a concern for businesses operating in Tanzania, with some investors encouraging difficulties related to transparency and accountability. In summary, Tanzania is a beautiful country with a harmonious society living in it. It offers a dynamic mix of opportunities and challenges. Its natural wealth, growing economy, and strategic location make it a promising destination for investment. However, businesses must navigate through bureaucratic hurdles, infrastructure deficits, and government's concerns to succeed. Understanding the local business environment is very important, and partnering with knowledgeable local stakeholders can significantly enhance the chances of thriving in Tanzania. The key to success is thorough preparation and adaptability in Tanzania's unique business environment. Thank you for listening and watching.